Hello there, I'm Maria from the Rich and Simple Living. Today I'm doing a collab hosted by Rebekah from Rebekah and Sadie Berman. I'll pop a link to her page down below, her channel, and then if you go over to there you can see who else is involved in the collab. So that's what I do. So I felt a bit dishevelled today. I've been around the graveyard hunting for family graves, doing the family tree. Me and Sean went for a walk round and we've been doing some family tree research. So I look a bit wild. It's pretty chilly and windy out there. But anyway, off the subject I go. What we're doing, it's 5 things that I like about spring. What 5 things I like about spring. Spring isn't my most favourite season. It's got to be said, my favourite season is autumn, but we are ready for spring, I think. When it comes round after the winters we get here, we're always ready for spring. So I've noted down, because I had to sit and think about it really, what 5 things do I like about spring? So I've noted it down. So firstly, I think the very first thing, that time when I know it's spring, is when you open your eyes in the morning and there's that little bit of light coming through your curtains that wasn't there before. It was dark, and just that little glimmer of light, and you can hear the birds singing. And I always call them the spring birds. I've always called them the spring birds. So I'll say to my husband, oh, I can hear the spring birds. So that's the very first sign of spring to me, is when you just see that glimmer of light and you hear those spring birds singing. And I think, yes, spring is on its way. And every year, for most of my life, I think, is how I've thought of that. Secondly, I think it's like all the new life that comes along. You start to see buds on the trees and plants growing like daffodils and things like that, although we do seem to get them earlier these days than what we used to get them. So things like that. And of course chicks. I've been watching a few people hatching chicks out on the YouTube channels, and I've got some eggs in the incubator myself, so hopefully they'll do something. But yeah, you think of that as well this time of the year, hatching chicks and little lambs in the fields. You watch out for the first little lambs in the fields, and it's just nice. And your daffodils, your primroses and crocuses, all the spring flowers that bring everything back to life, the colour that comes back, all your buds on your trees, and your leaves appearing, and as they start to open up, it always reminds me, like us, as the buds open up, it's like us slowly opening the door and going out into the outside after all the horrible cold dark days. So yeah, I think secondly, that's what I like. I mean, who doesn't like little lambs and chicks and things like that? You always think of spring when you see them. So yeah. Thirdly, the longer days. We look forward to longer days, lighter nights, lighter mornings. And spring comes around, like here in England, well, Britain, we've got a piece of air bugging me, sorry about that. Here in England, Britain, we start to change the clocks at the end of March. I was going to say August for some bizarre reason then, the end of March. And that really heralds spring, as in the days start getting longer. I mean, we're noticing it now, it's getting lighter at night and it's lighter in the morning, like I said, because the spring birds are out. So yeah, the longer days start to follow, and it's wonderful because you think, great, it's coming into summertime, obviously the nice long lazy days of summer. So yeah, the lighter days, lighter days, longer days. And also with that, you start to go out a little bit more. You get some sunshine, and although you get sunshine in winter, I don't know, there's something about the spring sunshine. You feel a warmth in it. a couple of times we've been out in the garden recently, and I can feel the warmth from the sun hitting me and think, oh yeah, you know, we're on our way to better weather. And it's nice, it's nice, that first sunshine in spring that's got the warmth attached to it. Number 4, of course, is Easter time. Spring is when all the places open up again, all your holiday parks that have been shut over winter, or your places where you go and visit, you know, your stately homes and museums, places that close over winter, they all open up for the summer season. So that's nice as well, because you can start going out and about, although at the moment obviously we're under restriction here in England, so they won't be opening up at Easter time like they would normally. I think maybe after Easter, a couple of weeks after, all being well. But yeah, normally that's what you think of in spring. You know, everything's opening back up again, all your holiday places, and you feel like going out and about. You're ready for it and exploring and that, so it's great. And of course, my 5th thing, well, I say my most important thing, I was going to say Easter. And actually, I'm a spring baby. I was born in the spring, so I'm a spring baby as well. So I have Easter and a birthday. But yeah, Easter is nice, because again, you think of spring and you have all the little rabbits and chicks and things like that, don't you? And all your flowers, your daffodils and things. So yeah, Easter. And we love Easter eggs, chocolate eggs, and little gifts, and making things, and, you know, nice food. So it's a bit like a mini form of Christmas in a way. But most importantly at Easter, one thing we shouldn't forget is the reason for Easter. I mean, you know, Jesus dying on the cross for taking everyone's sins. So I think that's the most important thing to bear in mind at Easter, because it's nice getting carried away with eggs and that, but sometimes I think, oh, it's a little bit materialistic, a little bit greedy sometimes, you know. I mean, it isn't, but sometimes I get the feeling, I should remember to think of the real reason why we celebrate Easter. And for that reason, you know, we should spare a thought for Jesus who died for us at Easter. So, although I don't know if everybody agree with that. Probably all think, no, I'd rather the chocolate eggs. I don't know, but not me. No, I do like the chocolate eggs, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I think that's important. Easter time, we do think of Jesus, you know, his sacrifice he made, and the resurrection and everything. So that's another thing. So yeah. It was a hard one to think of, really. What 5 things do I like? Because everything sort of interrelates to each other. So it was hard to think of it all individually. So yeah, so if I was to summarise it, first thing for me to recognising it's spring is the spring birds. Hearing them singing through that little glimmer of light through curtains when you wake up in the morning, and you know spring's on its way. Secondly, you see all the buds on the trees. I mean, my pear tree now, it's got all buds on. It's lovely. Because there's nothing nicer, is there, than when they all grow in spring, all the new leaves and the grass. Everything looks so green. My favourite colour as well, green. But everything does, it looks so green and lush. It's just nice. So, and all your chicks and lambs. Yeah, definitely. And your longer days and that first sunshine with the heat attached to it. Everywhere opening up, holiday places, theme parks, fun parks, places to visit. Everywhere comes back to life in spring. And of course Easter, whether it's for eggs, chocolate, for Jesus, Easter. So yeah, I think that's my 5 things. It was a hard one to think of, because I do tend to think of them in one, but it was a hard one to think of. So yeah, so that's that. I shall be back on my channel again today. I'm going to do a quick tour of our little teeny tiny homestead, how it's all coming on, and keep you up to date how that's going. And next week we've also got a gardening collab with Victoria from Home Educating the Mad Lad, so that's another one to look out for. Don't know what day I'm going to do mine yet, but there's going to be a few of them out there next week, so I'll catch you then, tell you about that. And of course there's my own ones on Tuesday and Thursday. So anyway, I'll leave it at that for now, and I shall see you a bit later on in our garden, our teeny tiny homestead. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to go over to Rebecca's channel on Rebekah and Sadie Berman and check out the links in her channel for everybody else who's taken part in the collab. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.